Hello, everyone. Uh, my name is Stephen Neuner. I'm the District Governor-elect for Rotary District 7505, and we're here at Burlington County Institute of Technology for our district assembly in April of 2024. My guest today is Peter Bertheaud, and let me tell you a little bit about Peter. I've known Peter when he was the president of the Marlton Rotary Club, and I was the assistant governor. And after his president year last year, I was looking for another assistant governor, and I called Peter up. And we had a brief conversation, and Peter said basically that he declined because he had family and personal obligations. But then I started asking him some questions like, what do you love to do? And what is it that you do in your spare time? And I learned that Peter has been doing podcasting for quite a while, and now he is doing it for the district. So, Peter, how did you get into podcasting, and why do you feel that it was something you wanted to pursue?
Well, in fact, it wasn't even my idea. My co-host that I went to Virginia Tech. I love the Hokies, love football. So he wanted to do a football podcast because he shared the same passion. And we asked me like, hey, let's go get a beer. And said, hey, why don't we start a podcast? This is in 2015. And when we started that podcast, I felt like we were behind the eight ball because podcast has been around since like 2007. I thought we were late to the game. Well, as you guys know, that's not how it is. In 2019 alone, I think podcasting exploded. And so technically we were just slightly ahead of the curve. And we are currently the longest running Hokies podcast that's out there. But that's besides the point. I think that everyone has something they're passionate about, and we all want to be heard. And especially people that like to talk, and I am guilty of that. If you're passionate and knowledgeable on a topic, you want to put yourself out there and maybe let others know what you know, and maybe it'll help them out. Maybe it'll entertain them. And so that's why it's something I wanted to pursue.
Being in the podcast space for a decade now, why do you think that the style, including long form video, YouTube videos, has become such a popular medium?
I think with podcasting in particular and the long form stuff, it ends up being a conversation, and we all like having conversations. We crave human interaction, especially with the more we're attached to our phones. I think we are constantly looking for ways to get human interaction. And I think podcasts are just recorded conversations for the most part. Now, some of the stuff we do is more interview like, but hopefully as we continue to do it and the rapport gets better with me and our guests and everything else, they're easy to listen to. Like, podcasts are easy to listen to, and they're accessible. Think about the fact that you can put them on at any time. You can pull up YouTube at any time. And a lot of, unlike a radio show or a morning talk show, the content is evergreen. With a lot of our videos, like membership, with what I talked about with Bill, that's not going to go away. Like, tips on membership are largely going to stay the same. Yes, there are new things that come up. For instance, getting a podcast platform or a YouTube platform that can help with membership. But for the most part, a lot of our videos are going to be evergreen, and you can listen to them while you're cutting the grass, while you're working, while you're driving. And I think that's why people gravitate towards podcasts: accessibility and just the fact that they're very easy to listen to.
So what kinds of advantages are there for our district and for a service organization like Rotary to have a YouTube presence?
Well, one, they are cheap, right? Having a YouTube presence costs nothing. You need a Google account or something. You need an email, essentially. And so it is cheap access to get your values and messaging out to a very broad audience. And that audience, and this is the second key part, is usually on the younger side. Younger people are on YouTube constantly. And if they happen to stumble across our Gift of Life video with Diane, well, maybe they'll learn something. Maybe they'd want to get involved with Rotary. Maybe they would get active and in their community, even if it wasn't with Rotary. It can only help educate people on that question we get all the time, which is so annoying. What is Rotary, right? We answer it constantly, and I'm always shocked that people don't know what it is, and this could help us with that effort.
It seems from the interviews that you do a lot of background research. Is that true?
Yes. When I had Diane on, I thought I knew about Gift of Life until I go on their website and I see all the affiliates that they have all over the world. And I didn't know how many hospitals, how many, medical facilities they had. And I learned a lot throughout that process. And that is one of the keys to trying to do an interview with someone, you must come prepared, and hopefully, depending on what your research leads you to, if you can pick out something that's a little unique, that's something that maybe someone else has not asked them before, you'll get a little bit more information.
Let me circle back to the YouTube connection. The district has their own YouTube channel now?
Yes, we are proud owners of a new YouTube channel. It's if you type District 7505 Rotary, it should pop right up. The links, though, are on the district website.
Yes. Now, is one of the goals for us to basically drive an audience, have a large audience on our YouTube channel, more people outside of Rotary seeing it?
That is one of the goals. Like, as I said in my little spiel that was on that video we just watched, was we want to let a broader audience know about what we're doing. Yes, it is great. And one of the key things about it was to educate all of you that are already in Rotary on what's going on in the district. But the second part of it is a broader audience that if you go on YouTube and you type in Rotary interview or Rotary International thing, there's not much there. It's actually kind of shocking how few Rotary interview type things there are, conversations, whatever it might be. And so we can help to fill that gap, and maybe other districts will follow suit.
What can Rotary members do to increase the exposure of our YouTube channel and your video interviews?
It's very simple. You just share them. When we post them, like, here's the other thing. Facebook is obviously a key thing we all use for all of our clubs. I posted the Diane video to just the Marlton Facebook page, and it got a lot of engagement. And I'm not asking every club to post all the videos. I'm saying if you see it or you notice that a new one is posted, maybe send an email to your club. Hey, check out this video before our meeting this week, and maybe we'll talk about it. Just sharing word of mouth within the district. And here's the key, and you'll hear this if you watch any YouTube video. If you happen to watch the video, do not close it out without hitting the like button, because the algorithms within YouTube will force that video upon many other people as long as people are hitting the like button. So no, it's not mandatory, and it won't do anything bad if you don't do it, but it helps the channel out if you just hit the like button.
I noticed that on the flyer and on the website, there is a link where people can sign up to have their particular project or something similar featured. So what are the kinds of things that would make somebody a good candidate for an interesting interview?
I think, number one, the person, critically important to pick your guests carefully. That is important. That doesn't mean if you put in for a YouTube video on the form that Steve has said, we will get to, if it's something that you are knowledgeable and passionate about, we will get to you. But those are the keys, right? You must be passionate about that topic. Those are what makes the best guests, because they'll just keep going and keep talking because they just love it so much. That's what made Diane such a good guest about Gift of Life. She is extremely passionate about it. And they also, if you're going to be a guest, or you're looking for a guest, make sure that they know it inside and out. You don't want to get caught as an interviewee with their pants down, because that looks bad on you too. So make sure they know the ins and outs and that they're extremely passionate about their subject matter.
When you're conducting the interview, what are some general rules of thumb that you haven't mentioned so far?
Number one is listen. I know it sounds ridiculous, but as the interviewer, you get so caught up in, like, what am I going to ask next? I got to make sure I nail this. Sometimes you don't listen. And listening will help you with follow-up questions, number one. And the second key, and also seems easy, don't interrupt the person that you're interviewing. Because as someone that likes to talk, as I mentioned, you will occasionally interrupt people. And because you're trying to get to that next point, because of this, there is a point where an interruption might be helpful if they're droning on and on. However, if you don't allow them to finish their thoughts, you might miss something. And so I think not interrupting, making sure you're listening so you can get those key follow-up questions. And the other thing, that a rule of thumb is just, you're not trying so much to, it depends on what it is, because you could be just having a conversation and you're bouncing ideas off each other, but you're also trying to take that really passionate person and trigger them to get the best out of them. Just small pokes within the interview usually can go a long way to getting the content you want. And make sure you have good questions and enough questions, and avoid yes or no stuff. That's a big thing. But if someone is, even if it's not yes or no, might be giving you short answers, you don't want to not get to your allotted time. So make sure you have an extra amount of questions to ask.
Thank you. This process and these videos sound like they are perfect for the modern age to expose Rotary and the good things that we do to a wider audience, so that fewer people ask what's Rotary and have no idea. Outside of a straight up interview, what other kinds of formats or tools could we use in the district to that end?
I think something I really want to do with the channel is have kind of a panel discussion, so to speak, 3 or 4 members from various clubs or the same club. It just depends on what the subject matter of the discussion is going to be. But a meeting of the minds and people kind of, just collectively talking about a topic, I think could be excellent content and something that it would provide multiple perspectives rather than me asking someone what their perspective is. Now I've got, a member from Marlton. I've got a member from, up north, or we're in Pennsylvania now. We're all over the place. And you're going to get those different perspectives all in one. I also think, and this is something I discussed with Tom or DG, is just messages from the people in power within the district. And hey, Tom has something that he wants us to focus on for the next month. All right, let's do a video with him and get that message out there effectively, and not just maybe in an email, which we know not all of y'all are reading your emails. So if we had a video, it might be able to engage some more people in an easier way, even if it's from a Melanie or a Tom or yourself.
I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to take you up on that when I'm district governor starting in July. What are some of the things you would suggest I do for interviews that you could do of me as district governor that would make it interesting and not boring?
That might be a more difficult question for me to answer on the spot. Not because of you, because it's the kind of thing where, well, what do we want to get out there? What kind of values do we want to get out there? And what are our focuses next year? And that's something that you need to determine. And once we know those things, then we can put it in video format and say, like, okay, this month we're focusing on outreach. Like, let's do a food drive, or let's have this. And once you know your focuses and what your goals are going to be for the year, because I know that's a big thing with every DG, then we can make sure we get the messaging we want out for the year.
Thank you, Peter, and thank you for this opportunity to play Peter Bertheaud and switch the roles on you. Thank you again.
No, thank you, Steve. This was a lot of fun, and hopefully you guys all enjoy the interview. And if you have ideas, get on that Google form and fill them out. And if I haven't contacted you about an idea you've already put in there, you will be getting contacted. So thank you.
Thank you.